how difficult is it? And since you work with so many different companies and organizations to bring about cultural change, this seems to be one of those things that academics write about, us professionals try to work on. But how do you find it in practice when you're advising clients to bring about a cultural change?
Yeah, I mean, starting with ourselves, you're absolutely right. You don't want to have it in the marketplace that you don't have a good culture when everything that you do is around positive culture
Yes.
and human potential and so on. It would be very embarrassing, I must say. The good news is we've won a lot of best employer awards over the years, and that's been great because that's helped with the exact opposite of that scenario. It's enabled us to have credibility with clients that, well, wow, if we win all of those awards for our culture, then probably we know how to do these things reasonably well. So much so that the AFR approached us to run their best places to work. So we no longer compete in that, so because it would be a
Oh,
conflict of interest. But it
interesting.
feels like a very nice step up to be doing that. Now that again, that said, doesn't mean that our culture is always perfect. There's always things to work on, and you see that that's the case.
Mm.
When we work with other organisations on culture, I mean, there's nothing new under the sun to some degree. Culture comes down to mindsets and behaviours, comes down to symbols, rituals, stories, all of those kind of anthropological markers. And to some degree, it comes down to your systems and processes as well. I'm very big on the things that really drive it for the long term. If you can create the right sorts of symbols, rituals, stories, etc., that really stand for the things you care about most, and
Mm.
you anchor them deeply so that they can't be easily knocked over, I think that's a very powerful way to both create and keep culture.
And you were talking about your own principles, and I suppose that's what underpins the culture that you're trying to build in your own organization. Or for other organization, it is about values, I suppose. And one of the things you would focus on, and that I like to focus on, are the values of the organization. Because
Mm.
it's easy to make money in business, but it is more difficult to do it with your values intact. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely, and well, it's my personal belief that having those values intact helps you to also be commercially successful as
Mm.
well. Because in my opinion, long-term success, the kind of success that doesn't last for a year or even a decade, but endures and endures, are the organizations that show long-term orientation. And in my opinion, that the moment you start chasing the short term, how much profit can we make this year or even this quarter or this month, is ultimately going to get you in trouble. You will
Yes.
stop investing in the sorts of things that you should, um, and eventually that catches up with you. It's no different from raising a child, right? We all try to raise our children to take a long-term orientation. We know that if they just do the thing that makes them happy today, they'll end up very sad in the long term.